I don't know how many streams we've done by now, um, but it's building up on the channel, and we're getting quite a few streams done. Now today, normally I stream for like 2 hours or something, and so hello and welcome to everyone. This is Jakob live, and we're gonna do some factory stuff today. Like I said, normally I do this for 2 hours, but today I think I'll only be able to do it for an hour. My voice is already hurting. I've done way too much, way too much narration editing these past weeks, and I've been trying to hurry up, with my big shimmer video to get it done. I wanted to post it this week, but that's not going to be possible. And now I have to look around to see if I can find a shorter video I can do. And recently, Arturia, they did this update for the Micro Freak, so I think I'll do a short video on that or something. I can probably get that done in like 1 or 2 days. But today, only an hour stream, and like last week we said we were going to do factory and another synth, but we're probably only going to have time for this synth, so I'm sorry, and I apologize to anyone who was waiting for that second synth thing that I can't remember right now on the top of my head the name of. But I'll do it like this. I'll do that synth next time, so like next Wednesday. I really have to save on my voice because there are some interviews that I have to do with some people. I have to finish up my episodes, and I also have an interview coming up already like this weekend on Friday from another YouTube channel called Jade Star. And that person have been doing like iOS related stuff for a long time and has a podcast and everything. So that will be live. They will be streaming that live. So keep an eye out on my Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, and I'll tell you when it is and at what time and stuff. Thank you so much for joining up, everyone. I can see that you're typing in there like crazy. And let's do some factory stuff. If you're wondering what you heard in the beginning there, it is my old K oscillator, and I just keep it around because it makes me very, very happy. But that's not what we're gonna do right now. What we are going to do right now is I'm just gonna hide this thing because the second screen here on the MacBook is just distracting me a little bit. So let's get into some factory stuff. Now factory from Sugar Bytes is very, very powerful, very, very interesting. It's a modular synth with a routing matrix, and it's very, very easy to work with, but it can be very daunting for people who are new to synthesis and stuff. Just getting into the oscillators themselves, there are some in here that can be very hard to understand, like what is a pulse sync oscillator? And I don't really know the math behind it, but like a pulse sync is basically, let's see here, it's an oscillator that produces a series of waveforms, and then it syncs them together, so you're able to play any notes with them basically. And if we look at the different oscillators in here, we have something called saw sync. The saw sync is the same thing as the pulse sync, only it's doing it with a saw waveform. And then you've got like the saw fractal. What was that again? Oh yeah, it produces a waveform, it cuts it up, and then it does something with it. I don't know. I don't know how these things work exactly. The FM formant one, for instance, I had to look that up because I had no idea what that was. It turns out it's kind of close to phase modulation, but it's not. It's really not, because there's something else being done with the sound afterwards. So it's producing a waveform with a sine wave, and then modulating it with another sine wave. It's doing some weird stuff to it, and then it goes through some kind of a formant shifter or something. I couldn't explain to you exactly how it works. I'm gonna have to read up on these things. So if there are people who understand what these are exactly, feel free to type it out in chat. Like I'm all ears here. I don't know exactly these types. Now if we look at the transformer, what was the transform? Oh yeah, that's right. I know what this is. This is a granular oscillator. So you load up a sample, and it's granular synthesis basically. I think that's the one, the transformer. Let me just check here. Yeah, because then we have a we have a wavetable oscillator and like a PVM. We have a wavetable sync, a wavetable formant, wavetable drone, and wave guide. So there are lots of weird oscillators in here. You don't find the regular stuff, the regular straightforward stuff, and that's one of the things I really like about Factory. Now we're gonna start out really simple here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna choose a saw sync waveform, and this is what it sounds like. So right now I've got this thing here on the side. You can. Was that a piece of bread or something? Did I have a piece of bread on there? Did I? That's weird because I don't even eat bread, so there shouldn't be any bread in here. I don't know what that was, but this is what I'm using to play everything. So it's a Korg Nano Key Studio. You won't be seeing it. It's off screen. I'd rather you see all of the stuff happening here. I've got the chat right here, and I am going to try my best to keep an eye on the chat to see if there are any questions for me. But I'm a bit bad with that. When I'm trying to do two things at once. And I want to say hello to all of the regular YouTube channels that I see in here, like Electronic Sounds and the Audio Dabbler. But thank you everyone for joining up. I'm really happy that you're here. And yeah, I'm drinking tea with a lot of honey in it, just so that my voice will hold up for this thing right here. So we've chosen a saw sync oscillator, and it sounds like kind of like a saw waveform. So what can we actually do with this? Well, there is something called sync frequency. Like I said, the saw and pulse sync are basically producing saw waveforms or sync pulse waveforms, and then they're syncing them together. So you can like change the sync frequency with this knob basically. And already we're getting a flanging effect right there. It's so easy to get very like interesting results just from doing a simple thing like that. And so if we wanted to do that, for those of you who aren't beginners, you're gonna have to deal with me doing some very straightforward basic stuff. If we wanted to do that, if we wanted to modulate the sync frequency, then we would go to the matrix here, and we would have to make sure that we choose the sync frequency. And when you look at this, the first time I looked at this synthesizer, I thought, there are so few options. I mean, there's so much in here. Why can't I send the stuff to more places than just these things, like the oscillator directly and the sequencer? And well, it turns out that when you tap on one of these, you get an expanded list, and here you can choose anything from well, you can see there's a lot here. So if we choose now, what Sugar Bytes has done, they've done it very simply. So an oscillator can have up to 4 knobs, and this one has 2, and it always counts from A up to D. And if we look at the knobs, I don't know if you can see that, but it says A and B in this. So we wanted to modulate the sync frequency, so we're gonna make sure I'm gonna choose here where it says cutoff, and I'm gonna change that to oscillator 1A, and that's basically oscillator 1 and knob A. Now, what do I want to modulate it with? What would I like to modulate it with? Well, we have a lot of options. Same thing here. If we want to use anything specific, like a mod wheel or something, a pitch bend, anything we want. But in my case, I just want to use an LFO, basically. So we're going to make sure that the top one here has the LFO chosen, LFO1. And what I need to do now is just connect these dots because it's a matrix, and just when we pull it up like this, we're gonna get a blob, and it shows with a color if you're doing it in a either positive or negative. So if you're thinking about this like a knob, um, let's see here. If double tap, it removes it. But if you think about these blobs, like when you don't see the blob, it's like the knob is in the middle, and if you're pulling it down, if you're pulling it down like this, so it gets like purple, from red to purple, then you're basically pulling the knob that way. And if you're doing it the other way, you're pulling the knob like this. And so now I'm fully. Am I doing it in the right order though? I'm hoping that the sources are here, right, and the destinations are here. Oh yeah. Oh, that's some pretty sharp modulation we've got going on there. I mean, that's way too crazy, and we can even see the modulation going on here. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna minimize that a little bit. Now the LFOs are situated inside the modulators menu, and so if we look down here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Sorry, 5 pages. This thing is so chock full of stuff. It's just insane. Like there's some stuff here in the articulation page that I just love. Uh, Normally, we'll get into that later on. I just get really excited when I start using this thing because there's so many good things in here. Especially when you go to doing like pitch envelope stuff. They've really thought about that, the guys at Sugar Byte. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the modulators, and we have the LFOs here, and we're using LFO1 right now. Now, one thing with the LFO is that, or with all of these, so basically you can change the waveform down here like this, and there are a sick amount of weird waveforms that you can use for this. Let me just take something like this, kind of like a, it's got like a and it's more of an envelope shape than it is a saw shape. Let's up that a little bit, the rate for it. Let's change the phase for it. Let's try another saw wave or another type of thing here. Let's choose a pulse, or let's say maybe one of these weird ones. There's a lot that can be done with just with the LFOs, and I love that. And if I remember correctly, let's see here. Right. Yeah, it does that. Okay, so I remember, but I don't remember the name for it. The name is, so there's a little arrow here. When you tap that in, it does it once. What is it called, Chad? I can't remember what it's called. I mean, I see this in regular synthesizers all the time. Either way, if you don't have it activated, the LFO will just run. But if you activate it, it will basically behave like an envelope. So it would just go through that and not do anything more. Alright, so I'm want something more like maybe something smooth, like a sine waveform, something simple like that. I want it to run, and I just want it at a very low speed. Pull down the sensitivity a little bit. So we've got a little bit of movement in it, and what I think we should do is add another oscillator. I just need to see. Could you try to meter learn to on a knob? Yes, of course, of course. So basically, it's a long press. So if I long press on this thing, and let's see here, do I tap it? I can't remember. Was it that like that? Wait, wait. Do I tap it? Let's see here. Yeah, like that. Okay, so now I remember. You just long tap it like this, and then so you long tap and hold, and then you press the icon for the MIDI, and then you just basically pull a knob, and you'll see here that, hey, what the hell? Why doesn't that work now? Wait. Oh, there he goes. Can you see that? So now I've got two knobs mapped here. Very, very simple. If I want to map this one, just go in here and do that again, and then just pull this one instead. And now I've got the B here, I've got the A over here. I don't know if you can see that very, very much, everyone, but yeah, it's definitely possible to map stuff. Just let me know if you want me to do anything specific. Like I'm trying to cater to my friends in the chat here, all of you, and everyone watching afterwards also. Okay, so we're gonna add another oscillator to this thing, and basically the only thing I've done is I've just pulled down the volume for oscillator 2. Let's choose something else for that. Let's choose an FM format. Right. I mean, this is just like what I do all the time when I sit down. I just choose an oscillator, add an LFO, always start in that order, especially with this one. With other synthesizers, I'll do other things, but with this one, I just start with LFOs. I don't know why. It just that's the way I want to do it. So let's do that. Or maybe we want to do something weird. How about this? What if we want to use the oscillator up here to modulate this oscillator down here? Now we already have that set up in the matrix. So we basically have oscillator 1 as a source here, and then as a destination we have oscillator B down here. So we could just do that and see what happens. Huh? Wait, what? Wait, where am I sending it? Am I sending it to, let's see here, I'm sending it to itself. Never mind, everyone, it's the wrong one. I'm supposed to send it to oscillator, I'm supposed to send it to oscillator 2. Oscillator 2, because here's the thing though, for any beginners out there, an LFO and an oscillator, if you load up a sine wave in both of them, they're both doing exactly the same thing. It's just that they're both doing it at different speeds, at different rates. So, and when with oscillators, you talk about the audible range, and basically you're running an oscillator at a high enough frequency so it gets into the audible range, the range in where we humans hear, basically. Whereas the LFO is basically just short for low frequency oscillator. So it's doing the same thing as an oscillator, only it's going at a very, very slow speed, and it's not at an audible range. I mean, if you would run a really slow LFO into a speaker, you would see the speaker cone move like this. And so you wouldn't hear it, you would only see it. And that's what we're using as modulation signals for everything else that we want to modulate in a synth when we're using LFOs. And so what I'm doing right now, I'm sending an audible range speed signal. I want to send that to one of the knobs here on oscillator 2. So the audible range of frequency coming from oscillator 1, sending it to a knob on oscillator 2. So let's try that again. Oscillator 1 up here, oscillator 2 there, and let's do that to the FM index. This is probably gonna sound bad. Yeah, you can hear how it doesn't sound good. But listen closely now. So what we're basically doing here is FM. We're doing FM synthesis. Only we're not using any specific rates here. I should really finish that FM synthesis episode sometime. You hear that? As soon as I start changing the pitch of oscillator 1, we're changing the frequency of which this knob is being modulated. And I don't... Can you see that messy movement going on right here? It's like fluttering. It's going crazy. That's the rate of that first oscillator. It sounds dirty and it sounds crazy. I like that a lot. Maybe you don't, but I do. It's starting to sound like synth farts, almost like a trumpety kind of synth fart thing. I can't help it. Yeah, I kind of like that. I can't help it. I don't know. But it actually doesn't sound too good if we want to make a pad, and I think we should do that. I always do that whenever I tweak sounds in synthesizers, especially when we're doing it live because they sound good usually. Yeah. You think so, Jim? You think I should do a factory farts episode? Factory farts episode? I mean, the title alone would be like misinterpreted by people, thinking that I'm making a compilation of someone going around farting in a factory. And why would anyone want to click on that either way? I mean, there are so many weird videos on YouTube. Ooh, you can really like go down into. There are a few rabbit holes, on YouTube that will just take you further and further into madness. And maybe at the end of that madness, maybe someone would find my factory farts episode. But they'd get really disappointed if they're expecting factory farts and not like farts with factory. So I want to do a pad, and so I'm keeping this thing. Wait, what? Oh yeah, the pitch. The pitch. So let's use the filter, and this is the nice thing also because the filter, there are so many different filters in here, and I especially like Sugar Bytes vowel filters. They do them really well. I mean, you can find that vowel filter inside Cyclops, for instance, and inside Unique, and it just sounds great, and it's lovely to modulate, especially if you're doing like modern EDM music. It's just great to work with. I'm not going to use that here though, but what I'm going to use is I'm going to start by using just an LP2 two-pole filter, low-pass filter. You know what? Let's switch that out to a bandpass one instead. And let's add some modulation for that filter. I want to use an envelope here, and we do have two envelopes, so we're going to use the second envelope. And the envelope does this neat thing with the curves. It changes it. It changes it. I'll show you. I'll show you. So we first need to just make sure that we're sending the signal from the envelope to the filter. So we're going to choose envelope number 2, and it's already selected here. And then we don't have the filter here right now. I'll just add it somewhere. Where do I add it? I'll add it over here. So filter cutoff right there, and then I'll send envelope 2 to the filter cutoff. Let's add a little bit of tack there. Sasha, it does look like they're only selling the white vocoder, the white microfreak with a microphone. It doesn't look like they're selling the old one, or like they've made a new package with the one that, you know, the older color. But I mean, um, you don't need it because it's a TRRS input. So if you got something like this, like I'm using right here, a headset like that, sorry, then you can use that. If you got a splitter you can get that at some local hardware store, or at least order it online if you can't go out because of lockdown and stuff. So I mean, a lot of our mobile gear fits right with that. That thing they did with the microfreak, the vocoder, is just brilliant. I just love that. But yeah, it does only seem like they're selling the white one with the microphone. The vocoder thing really makes a lot of sense, by the way, for that for the microfreak. And I just realized that I haven't actually done the update yet, so I'm gonna film that whole process, and it's gonna become a video. Hopefully, I'll be able to get it out by Friday. But I now have two hardware vocoder thingies, because the Mini Nova here on the side also has the same thing. You know, when you buy that, it even comes with a mic neck kind of with a goose mic, goose mic. What what's it called? What's it called? Is it a gooseneck mic? Is that it? Gooseneck mic. It comes with a gooseneck mic. Right, so I've connected up envelope 2 to cutoff, and yeah, it's doing something with it. It's very nice, and oh, double tapping removes it. Now listen really closely to what happens when we start fiddling with this thing, because this actually tweaks, and it does stuff with the slopes. You hear that? Now it's like... So you can go from logarithmic to linear to exponential by just tweaking this, and it changes all of the slopes. So let me change it fully. And then go all the way back. It's got like a shorter slope, and then if we go up like this, we have a linear one. And And if we go like this, we have like the logarithmic. Let's do it full. Let's add a little bit more. Hello, Jim. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Audio Dabbler. Let's see here. Samuel says, I plugged in my Rode Smart Lav. Oh, I have one of those. Yeah, of course. You could probably use your lavalier microphones with those too, right? With the Microfreak vocoder thingy. Okay, so it's a very generic little pad thing we've got here, and now I just want to add a little bit of, well, some effects. So we're gonna go to the effects page, yeah, and we're gonna go to, let's see here. One thing I like with this is that you only have, I don't like that you only have 3 modules, but 3 effect modules is quite a lot, you know, because the synth is already heavy. But the thing is that you can actually move these boxes around, and you can actually make them, you know, sit in other positions. So whenever you're tweaking presets with it, if you're a beginner, if you've got a series of effects already here, you could always try switching the order and see what happens, because the order can do a lot. Oh no, I ran out of. I don't think my my lovely partner is listening in on the stream either, so I can't just ask her to get me some water, because she's also got work to do right now. But we're gonna add a reverb, so I'm gonna turn this on, and right now it's a spring reverb, and we're gonna tap there. And what I want, you know what, let's do a shimmer. Huh? Wait, what? It's so nice. It has a shimmer effect in there. Yeah, that's very cool with feedback and everything. That's pretty amazing, right? And then let's add like a reverse delay in here. Something that would do really nice here would be to maybe be able to tweak the effect a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to map that filter by long tapping right there, and I'm gonna use this one, like that. And let's add a little bit of resonance there. I mean, that patch, if I would have just started building the patch and not really talked or anything, it probably wouldn't have taken longer than 5 minutes. And sure, I know what I'm doing, and a beginner might have a harder time doing it, but you see how little effort you really have to put in to make awesome sounds with this thing. I like what Sugar Bytes has done here. Like the oscillators could be way more. I mean, there are more controls here, right? Like keyboard tuning. You can turn that off. If you want to do kick sounds, you turn this off, and it won't pitch to the keyboard and stuff. You got tuning here, but it's every oscillator has up to four knobs, and some of them have two. It's not a lot, that you have to do in order to just get started. I really like that. Does this thing have dual filters? No, it doesn't have that, right? I At least I don't. I've never thought it did. So I'm no, I don't think so. I mean, that would have been nice though, right? I mean, put a filter after all of this is happening. Um, yeah, that would have been nice. Right now we're just using two oscillators. You also have a sub oscillator, and we also have noise. Sasha, you asked something here. Is it possible to save STH in the piano roll? I'm not sure exactly what you mean, and you might actually be answering someone else, and I'm just reading it out loud, like several minutes after it's happened, so I might be so off here. I have no idea. We got my old buddy Kalle from my hometown in the chat too. Nice to see you, man. I hope you're doing good. And I told you we were gonna talk like the last time you were here, but then we didn't. I guess that's stuff that happens. Everyone, okay, so this is gonna be really weird now because I really have to go and get myself some water. My throat can't take this unless I have something to wet it right now. So just give me 2 minutes. I don't like disappearing from stream, but I kind of have to. So I'll be back. There we go. Much better. My throat is feeling so much better. It's really, really bad, everyone. Oh, I notice a lot of people who demo synths on YouTube have dehydrated skin. Is this you trolling? Healing Heart, is this you trolling? No? Or is that a thing? Everyone who's demoing synths, they have dehydrated skin. Is that it? Is that it? Is that really how it is? A squeeze of lime. Fetching the water break tune. I should have one of those, Samuel, but that's the thing. I don't like going in the middle of a stream, fetching something and just leaving the chat in the stream and everything. what have I actually managed to do here today? I mean, if there are any beginners watching this, do you guys felt like I got through anything here at all? Like chat? Uh, I don't know. I can hardly remember what we did, but we did make some sort of weird pad. What I do want to do is I want to show you something. I'm just gonna save this thing first. Save this as what? No, no. Where is it? I'm gonna save this as just stream, baby. Stream, baby. Oh, come on, save my stream, baby. Thank you. Very good. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna, you see what it's gonna do? It's gonna make you look prank. Let's see here. Initialize. There we go. Initialize, and now I can show you that thing that I like so much about the articulation. Sounds great, doesn't it? It's a great little melody there. I mean, I think I could like win a Grammy or something with that, right? Right? Articulation. So it's got something called intonation in here, and when I turn that on, right, it's a pitching delay. It's a pitching delay. It's a pitch envelope. I mean, I just absolutely love this thing. I mean, it's such a simple thing, but it's the way that Sugar Bytes has implemented it. Because I mean, I set up pitch envelopes all the time to make kick sounds and weird leads and stuff. But the way that it's set up here, it's fun to experiment with. There are 3 different curves, and then you can set how rough you want it to be. You can set the speed of it. I mean, listen to that. It almost sounds like a string sound now. It almost sounds as if we've got. This thing actually sounds like it kind of reminds me of Car Plus Strong synthesis, and that's resonator synthesis. That's something you do with delays. Just love this thing. Oh, it's so sad. By the way, news for today. It seems that a budding YouTuber has released an app. I think he's got a channel. It's called Heinbach, and what did it make? Like, there's an app called Fundamental. I don't know if you've seen it. I haven't had time to test it yet, but that's pretty cool, right? It's so sad, and I love it so much. I like sad synthesizers. This is my new soundtrack. I really don't have anything more to say right now about this. By the way, Jacob, what's going to happen with your iPad? I think I've decided to wait for the rumored model that would be coming out on September. It apparently will be substantially better than 4th. Enrique, whenever there are rumors going around, don't listen to them. Wait for the proper information to hit. I actually have no idea. To be honest, I don't have any idea how much better or worse the new ones are gonna get. I mean, if you look, the 2020 iPads are already out, right? And I mean, when we're talking about the iPad Pros, I mean, I already know what those are. And then they're gonna have to upgrade like the Air ones and the other ones. I don't know what they're gonna be like, but I'm thinking that they're probably not going to get the same amount of RAM as the bigger ones. And we did discuss that earlier in other episodes where we, well, we kind of got around that thing that many of our apps, music apps, don't really use all of that RAM, and most of it gets used up by the system. I mean, if I run iOS, if I'm running iOS 13 on my iPhone, it takes up half of the RAM. And if I run the same thing on my iPad Pro here, it takes up a little more than no, it takes up a third of the RAM, which is weird to me because percentually it should take up the same if it's the same, right? But apparently they don't run the same way. What am I talking about? You see what I mean? I don't really know. I have no idea how it's going to work. So I don't know how the new ones are going to be. But I have decided on getting a 2020. No, no, no. I have decided on getting the big one, the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. And I'm going to get the one that came out this year. I mean, that's the one. It's just that it's going to still take me some time before I get it. And people are saying wait till next year. Is there really going to be a completely new iPad Pro model next year? Because I've seen what Apple have done with their upgrades. I mean, this 2020 model is already upgraded. Uh, but then it's different if it's the iPad Pro, iPad Airs. I'm talking out of my butt here right now because I don't really, I can't see into the future and see what Apple are going to do. All I see are rumors, you know, and I don't like basing my decisions on rumors. iPad Pros probably just have more RAM, so the amount the OS occupies it's not that big. Yeah, the 2020 has no real benefits. Sasha, that is completely that no, it's not completely correct either because if you look at the 2020, it's got that new camera with the double cameras and also the lidar on there, and that's a huge step up when it comes to the camera. And then it also has more RAM than the 2018 one. But if you're not interested in the camera, if you're not worried about the RAM, then buying the new one makes no sense. You could save money by buying the older one and get double the amount of storage. That's exactly what we were talking about in that stream when I was asking the question which iPad should I get. So you're right in if you look at the big picture and you don't care about the camera and RAM, then yeah, they're basically the same. But the camera is a substantial upgrade. I just don't see how I would use it exactly. Take photos with your iPad. Good for video production. Well, it is good for video production, absolutely. But filming with the iPad is not something I at all look forward to. When I want to film with something, I want the device to be small. I don't want it to be a 13-inch screen that I'm walking around with. Seriously, I want to film with something small. I'm a mobile producer, and it's one thing for me to walk around and work with a synthesizer, but doing this with basically like holding a mirror in front of myself, filming with it. I don't know. That's not how I'm imagining my filming sessions. If I did that, I would have to get some kind of a holder, you know, with handles on it, so I could hold the thing like that. But the kind of yeah, I know. And imagine that if you want to set it into a stand, like for when I want to film with my iPhone, all I need is very tiny things. But if you want to film with an iPad, oh, you need some proper gear because of the size and everything. Plus if you record videos with it outside, and you know, because of the screen size, if it's windy, if it catches the wind, you better have a good stand for it. Not even taken a single photo with mine yet. Yeah, I've only accidentally taken photos with my iPad. Accidentally. That throat is hurting me. Look, I said I was going to stream for a much shorter time today, like an hour, and we're almost at that mark, and I don't even understand how it went that fast, but I can feel it in my voice that it's getting bad. The factory app user interface looks quite hectic. A lot of knobs and buttons on screen. Is it a PC, Mac, iPad port? I think all of their stuff is also for desktop, Kalle, with Sugar Bytes. One of the worst cases of the ports they've ever made was the Cyclops one. I mean, it's fully usable on an iPad Pro or as something as smaller like an iPad 9.7 inch or something. But if you want to use Cyclops on an iPad mini, then some of the controls are just insane. I think I did show that at some point. Let's see if I still have factory here on this thing. I don't think I do. Not factory, I mean Cyclops. I mean, some of the controls get so tiny. So, sorry. So they're almost impossible to to work. So yeah, I mean, I get why you're asking that question. Yeah, they make desktop stuff, and then of course they do stuff or port it over to iOS, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. In the case of this one, I don't really have a problem with it because I've got the 13-inch screen basically, and even if I try to, let's see here, factory. Let me see here, factory synth. No, let's do it like this. I'm gonna type Sugar Bytes. I'm gonna try to bring this down to the iPad mini here that I have here, because this one is tiny compared to that. So let's download factory, and if I can get also Cyclops would be nice, but just comparing factory to the other one would be nice. Oh, it's I mean, look at the size of that thing. This is the iPad mini, the mini 2, and we got the iPad Pro 12.9 inch in the background. And I'm just waiting for factory to download here so that I can show you how different it is, because as soon as you start getting on a smaller screen, it gets kind of hard to control. But then we have to remember that I used to work on screens like this, which is even tinier. That's the iPhone 6s. Let's see here. All right. So I'm opening up factory here. Here's Sugar by factory. You can see the size change here. So look at that. Look at that. You see how tiny that little window is there? Compared to that matrix? It's so cute. But I've actually used other synthesizers that are hard to control. And the thing is that they manage to find ways of doing it usable anyway. I'd say that small knobs like this can be hard, and sometimes you kind of want a stylus to work with or something if you don't have an Apple Pen, because I'm okay. I was just reminded by a horrible video I don't want to see ever again. Have y'all ever seen that Apple Pen? If you've never seen the Apple Pen video on YouTube, just don't Google on it, because it's never gonna leave your mind. It's gonna get rooted into your head. That's what stuff like that does. It's a song, and if you hear it once, you can never unhear it, and it will haunt you for the rest of your life. And it's not a fun time, having that thing coming back to you, especially not if you're sitting in a very serious situation and then suddenly that thing pops up. No, don't do it. Don't search for it. But I'm gonna get a stylus. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Do you think this would be usable for you? For me, it would be usable, and I do bring my iPad Mini 2 with me when I travel. I do. People have been mentioning on my channel, on a few of my videos, saying, Jacob, you do videos about mobile music gear and you never go out. And you know what? you're right. I've said that in the last stream too. And looking at someone like Tatro, I don't know if you know who Tatro is. Tatro has a great channel. He does mobile stuff too. It's not only apps, it's hardware and everything. And he goes outside and does a lot of things. I don't think he's been outside for a while, maybe because of lockdown and everything. But Tatro has got a great channel if you want to watch someone making beats outside. So Tatro, let me just bring his channel up so you can see it. I like pushing other channels, but I need to do that. I need to get out more. It was kind of an experiment when I did that OPC dub thing. I brought I took me and my partner basically did that. So she was recording the videos for that. So here's Tatro. Here is his channel, Tatro. So you spell it Taetro. He's got a great channel, and he started doing, like, a while ago. He started doing interviews with people, talking about music production and stuff like that. It's really interesting stuff. I've sat many nights and listened to him because he lives in the U.S. So whenever he does these things, I'm up late at night. Well, either way, good channel, Tatro. Go check that out. Mobile stuff. That's basically the last thing we do for this stream is this comparison. That's all. We've been streaming for an hour, and I really I really need to go and just rest my voice. And stay tuned on my stay tuned on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, or one of them, because I will be telling you when I will be live in a live interview with another iOS music channel named Jade Star. JADESTR double R. I could have just said double R. In the meantime, I want to thank everyone for showing up, and I've probably missed a lot of questions, and that's just that's the way it is. I want to thank all of you. I've scrolled through here, and I'm seeing your faces, and I recognize your faces. You're all here. I want to thank you so much for supporting me, everyone. All right, I recognize all of you. And some people, sometimes I don't recognize. I don't know if it is because it's people who follow me who are using spoofy accounts, or if it is if it's new people. And if it's new people watching me, I just want to say thank you for giving me a bit of your precious time, and hopefully I've been able to entertain you. And if you like this sort of stuff, or if you don't like the live streams and you don't know, then I do have a main channel named Jakob haQ. This is Jakob haQ Live. My main channel is Jakob haQ, where I do produced stuff. So way more scripted, way more produced, higher production value than what I do here. The live streams are about hanging out with you and you and you and particularly you. And I want everybody to feel like I was talking about them right now. Did it work? I don't know. I'm just gonna leave. Like I said, I need to go. My voice is bad. Thank you so much for joining up. As usual, I wish you a very productive... What do I usually say? Kalle, I don't even own an Electribe, but if you mean an Electribe app, then yeah, I could definitely do a stream with that. Thank you so much for joining me. As usual, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all of your stuff, have a lot of fun doing it, and watch me trying to find the off button. Okay, there's OBS. I can see OBS. Kom igen nu. Seriöst alltså. Vad är det? Ja, där. Well, you got a little bit of Swedish there. Maybe I should do an episode about that, you know? Teach you some synth terms, but in Swedish instead. How to say them in Swedish. Would you like that? Tell me in the comment section of any of my videos. I'll see it because I've got YouTube Studio on my phone. So any videos on my main channel, this channel, whatever. Tell me if you want me to make an episode about synth terms, but in Swedish.